Well then, hello there everybody, Sabaranai2 aka Nightmare, and welcome back to Irae Amantes Amentes. So, immediately a couple of things. There was a song that had actually, I'm gonna go jump kind of straight into this here thing. So, there was a song that was being sung by Schreiber that, I was curious about. Well, upon hearing the answer, my curiosity got how do I properly put this into words? It got chopped up, put into a blender, then deep fried, smashed by a hammer, and then put down a toilet and just flushed away to be just utterly destroyed and never be seen again. Because that song that he was singing was a battle song for the Nazi party. Holy fuck, do I feel bad. I did not know that. Okay, thank you very much for, clarifying that. I think I dodged a bullet trying to look that up. Holy crap, I don't want that on my search history. Thank you very much for clarifying that. I really should have seen that coming. I should have. But I didn't because I'm a bit of an idiot. So to make up for that, I was told it was recommended that I kind of complete this to the end of this chapter. So that's what I'm going to do this episode. I'm not entirely sure how long this is going to be, but I'm pretty sure the length of this video will speak for itself. So we're gonna go through this to the end of the chapter. Oh boy. Trifa, you really messed up as soon as Machina showed up. You really fucking messed up, dude. Oh, and another bit of a clarification. He wasn't so much trying to kill Rhea, he was trying to render her, ability to be the Sonnenkind. It's actually pronounced Sonnenkind, kind of like kindergarten. Thank you very much for clarifying that. I apologize to all of the listeners that were upset that I kept on mispronouncing Sonnenkind, not Sonnenkind, Sonnenkind. My bad. Thank you very much for the clarification on that, as well as any other times I can't pronounce anything because I'm a bit of an idiot. He was making it to where she would not be a good enough Sonnenkind, so that Kasumi would be the replacement in a way. Okay, thank you very much for clarifying me on that one. Now then, let's get to this shit. The thunderous roar of the somber night made everyone present lose their breath. Even Eleanor, while not exactly overawed by the sight, displayed an emotion akin to admiration. The battle cry was great enough to shake the air. No, the ground. It was less like a sound and more like a boom of raw power that could make space itself shatter and burst. Blatantly expressing the will to fight or kill in such awe-inducing bursts, and turning it into damage potential was by no means a rare technique. His power was great and dense beyond gauging, but it still paled in comparison to gold. Anyone who knew the beast wouldn't be menaced by the somber knight's power. Thus, Gotz von Berlschingen, the Iron Negredo, was feared for another reason. Specifically, the difference, the amplitude between his stillness and motion. He suppressed his presence so well that no one could feel it, then displayed it all with that overwhelming roar. The tens of thousands of soldiers whirling within the night followed him without making as much as a cough, proving the command with which he rallied his army to be beyond imagination. The orderly soldiers were now released from the yokes restraining them. When it came to utilizing Karl Kraft's sorcery, the power based on the control and handling of souls, he was likely the most proficient of them all. As if made to be like that, Machina utilized the grace granted to him by the shadowy Mercury to its full extent. In certain situations, the ability of his might even surpassed Reinhardt's.
なるほど。戦士ですか。
The appearance of the Iron Hero made the shining golden lance fade away like fog. No one on the scene knew if Trifa could only use it for a short time, or if he had some other reason to make it disappear. But the fact of the matter was that he returned to being barehanded. In that state, he began voicing a blatant complaint.
おっしゃる通り、 確かに読みが外れたようですね。
He
確かに読みが外れたようですね。
was making a blatant complaint. 確かに読みが外れたようですね。
確かに読みが外れたようですね。 確かに読みが外れたようですね。
確かに読みが外れたようですね。
確かに読みが外れたようですね。 あなたは一刻も早く死にたがっていると思ったのですが、マキナキを。私が用意した死に場所ではお気に召さぬというわけですか。
With a face like that, I guarantee he's not happy about it. The knight's iron was his bane. Facing him would surely lead to the priest's demise. He acknowledged that, and avoided encountering Negrito by setting him up at the battle he would surely obsess over, thus reducing the possibility of him taking part in this event. But alas...
愚問。たわごとだ、生産杯。
That voice, my god. Completely ignoring the priest's lament, Machina took a step forward. He was a champion, a warrior through and through. Till the 8th opened and provided him with an opportunity to unleash his all, he would not tolerate his own incompleteness. No battle prior to that was considered fair by him.
ランチキ騒ぎに興味はない。だがその果てが俺にとっては最後の戦だ。
He had awaited this moment for 60 long years. The battle that would grant him final death wasn't to be accepted as genuine until they both were at the ultimate peak of their respective powers. The time was not yet right.
ゆえに、お前は邪魔だな。不本意だが、俺が排除するしかあるまい。
Oh. Potent power gathered in his fist. Trifa knew of its deadliness all too well.
やれやれ、今夜はまた随分と饒舌ではないですか。しかしなるほど、全力の発揮をご所望とは誰かさんと似ていますね。それは本当にあなたの心か？まず我々は共にハイドリ秘境の影から解き放たれることを念頭に置くべきだと愚行しますが。
Oh! Suddenly the iron fist ran through the air, carrying a roaring wind.
馬の耳に念仏。所詮奴隷のあなたにはわかりますまい。
The man of the cloth leapt backwards, dodging the metallic strike by the skin of his teeth. Then he began to plan his escape. However...
無駄だ。
Just like it was with the hospital, the entire school was now within Rubido's range, her grasp. No one standing within areas consumed by her grand artillery could ever make an escape.
貴様はこれにも耐えるだろうが。他はどうかな。
You done fucked up, Trifa.
まあ姫は私が責任持って守るがね。あとは知らんよ。どうとなれだ。
That wasn't a bluff. Eleanor was completely serious. If Trifa tried to escape the school, she would blow it all to bits.
気悪いよマキナ。貴様なら消滅だけは避けられるはずだ。この程度しのげんようでは土台ハイドリ秘境の近衛とは言えん。そうだ。
構わん。問題ない。
The only ones who could withstand Rubido's cannon fire were Machina, an Einryar like Eleanor herself, the indestructible divine vessel, and Rea Himuro, the Sonnenkind she claimed she would protect. I almost messed up there. Anyone else would surely crumble to ashes. Just like Lisa. Kay held her breath, trying to process the situation until the sudden realization left her completely speechless. It was happening again. They weren't even considering her as part of their design. She was less than trash to them. In their eyes, the sole value of the girl known as Kei Sakurai was to be the potential sacrifice to the swastika. As if to prove it, the three completely ignored her and continued their exchange.
あなたが私を攻撃するのは立場上不忠になるのではないですかね、ザミエル卿。
ああ。だがすでに不忠者のせいで金を破った。ならば一度も二度も変わらんだろう。不本意だがね。
Yeah, I broke the rule once already, might as well break it again.
罰は後で粛々とハイドリヒ教の御前で受けるとしよう。真の不忠はここで貴様を逃すことだ。
I just gave her the Maria voice because there's no way I could ever match her.
ゆえにどうする？死なれては困るのだ。
Eleanor shifted her gaze towards the one being that didn't seem to belong there.
からくりは読めた。双子の片割れか。ああ。名は何と言ったかな。
ヨハンだ。
Well, Rubedo and Negredo detailed the situation as Trifa stood silent, not even trying to hide any of it.
そう、ヨハンだ。生きていたのだな。知らなかったよ。ブレンナーらしい、そして貴様らしいと言ってやるか。前者は愚かしく、後者は薄汚い。哀れだよ、その少女。いっそここで何も知らぬまま行かせてやるのが慈悲と思えぬこともない。
I mean... shit. I don't want her to die, but... I don't want her to experience the absolute insanity of this either, so...
まあ何にせよ。
With a cold grin and a light chuckle, Eleanor turned around as if to display that she didn't even need to see what happened next.
罪だクリストフ。貴様の巡礼とやら、ここで終わる。
Just then, the somber knight launched another metallic strike towards the priest. He didn't dodge, or rather, he couldn't. Considering he was facing two veteran battalion commanders, one might say this was all too obvious. By dodging the first blow, the priest got into a position they found desirable. Then, while Eleanor sealed his ability to escape and conversed with him, Machina perfected the distance between them. Everything was planned. Now Kasumi Ayase was on the same straight line as Trifa and Machina. Had the priest dodged the attack, she would have surely died, so he could do nothing but accept it. The results of the blow were palpable.
無駄だ。知っているだろう。俺に砕けぬものはない。
The vessel that boasted of complete and thorough invincibility was now beginning to creak. Though he protected himself by crossing his arms, the fact that it damaged him was undeniable. There was no better proof for it than the groans escaping his mouth.
今のはいささか非道ではありませんかな、牧名卿。騎士たる御身が不女子を盾にするような道を選ぶとは驚きだ。
Oof.
誤解するな。俺は騎士道など知らん。知っているのは戦場の掟だけだ。立ち入れば女子供のわけなく死ぬ。故に何もかも終わってしまえと。やれやれ。あなたが一番ハイドリ秘境に近いですな。少子、お前が言うことか。
He pulled back the fist he had launched, displaying the kind of placidity that seemed to imply a complete lack of worry about any counterattacks. His defenselessness was on a completely different dimension compared to Trifa's. While the priest didn't protect himself due to absolute certainty of his endurance, the somber knight had unshakable confidence in his attack power.
誰よりも奴に依存している身で笑わせる。
Shit! A downward strike sent the cassock-clad corpus flying as all-dominating offense clashed against indomitable defense. Basically, ultimate spear colliding with ultimate shield. The two ultimately failed to cancel each other out, resulting in the former's victory over the latter. As a result, he couldn't withstand his blows. Trifa was being pummeled into his demise, unable to do anything to stop it. The sight made Rhea subconsciously reach out towards him. Alas, he was too far. She was just as powerless as the priest himself. Though Rhea was the one who sparked this event, its flow was completely out of her hands. She was confused about what she should do. The girl simply didn't know how to feel about that priest. One blow after the other, the Iron Negredo continued punching Trifa. Every hit seemed to have shaved something away from him, made him break, shatter, and gradually disappear. It was over for him. The the priest would be defeated and perish. Even with her untrained eyes, she could still easily predict the outcome of their battle. However,
どうして
she couldn't help but voice the exact same question she had asked herself countless times before. Why was he so keen on keeping her alive? A woman this wicked. A girl this dangerous. Choosing to kill her would be far more reasonable, and that was exactly what she thought he was trying to do just a moment ago. But... with an unbefitting, serious expression on his face, all the while voicing groans of genuine desperation, he forced himself to stand strong and brave as he faced an undefeatable foe. Was it for her sake? Was it her fault? Did she do anything for him that would warrant such a fervent struggle? She didn't understand him. The girl just couldn't guess what the priest was thinking. And yet, even after witnessing his sacrificial devotion, Rhea couldn't help but be scared of him. Did that make her a lowlife? A pile of human filth? Or perhaps something entirely detached from humanity? What did Valeria Trifa mean to Rhea Himuro? And what did the Sonnenkin mean to Kristoff?
心配はいらない。言ったろ。我々は玉体を休んじ立て祭ると。
Eleanor spoke up, as if to prevent Rhea from reaching out towards him again. With her back turned to the heated battle, the woman came to stand right next to the girl.
あれの守り。そのど外れた強度の秘密は2つある。一つはベルリンの黄金連星をもとにクラフトンが、というよりイザークが城を飛ばした際の副産物だよ。すなわち対魔、対物理、対時間、対偶然。そうした防御膜を極限まで強化、移れないように永久展開させた盾。そうしてもう一つは鎧。
Eleanor revealed the divine vessel's greatest mysteries in a completely nonchalant manner, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. That sounds like Samuel. As she listened, Rhea nearly fainted. A perfectly reasonable reaction, considering that...
あのうちに渦巻くバルハラのレギオン。魂の総和が常識外れの密度を有しているからに他ならん。わかるかな？あれはハイドリヒ教の玉体なのだよ。
The divine vessel was Reinhard's flesh. And Valeria Trifa was the golden beast. That was the gist of what Eleanor had just said.
今マキナが削っているのは前者だ。あれを崩せる者は奴しかいない。故に安堵されよ。我々はハイドリヒ教の玉体を破壊などしない。ひさしを借りて母屋も取ろうという不心得な居候。獅子心中の癌を叩き出そうとしているだけだ。
They were about to break the barrier which had been sealing Reinhard's castle, his creation figment for over 60 years. The results of such an act were no doubt evident even to the slowest thinker. The other world that perpetually expanded within the unbreakable vessel was about to be released. The event would be akin to the burst of a balloon filled with the amount of water held back by a dam.
盾がなくなれば城の流出はもう止められん。堤防が消えるのだからバルハラの総軍は流れ出ていく。まあ現段階ではそれに極めて近い想像だがね。いずれにせよその時をもって主要代行は任を解かれる。奴は用済みだ。この第七に解ければよい。故にテレジア、御身が抱えているとおぼしき不可解な干渉は。
The girl didn't want to hear it.
やめて
Rhea raised her voice to stop the woman's words. It was an action completely opposed to her intentions, as she actually wanted, and had to, know the truth behind it. However, it was too hard for her to accept the answer she began to see. Even if she could untangle the complex feelings she had been wrestling with all this time, it was already far too late. Was she worried about Father Trifa, or did she fear him? Was she worried about the divine vessel of gold, or did she fear him? 60 years ago, Valeria Trifa had a completely different appearance. After all, his body wasn't the one he had now. The source of her swaying feelings was the fear her grandfather felt towards the one he believed to be his father. She inherited through her very soul. Rhea was bound by that fear, and led the priest to his place of execution while being completely unaware of who he really was. In an attempt to protect Fuji, she accidentally pressed the switch to the release of ultimate despair. And suddenly I can hear Monokuma laughing in the distance. Was there anything she could do to make up for it? Irae didn't see how she could turn back now. She thought herself a fool, and a thoughtless little girl. She had always known that Karl Croft's Ars Magna wasn't weak enough to be ruined by someone as meager as her. She knew it well, yet she still brought about such a harrowing predicament. If they let her, she would have killed herself right then and there.
自害ならいずれもっとしたくなる。いや、それとも生の執着になるのかな。どちらでもよいがね。
Memento Mori. Eleanor uttered the curse and silently chuckled to herself while going on in a businesslike manner, as if to proclaim that she was done with the girl.
その頂点は第8の解放でだ。せいぜい貯めておくがいいよ、テレジア。その祈りを持って、この世をグラズヘイムに塗り替えよう。もはや言うまでもないと思うが、あちらの少女はあなたの血縁。出来損ないなので死んだということにされていたイザークの弟。その孫に当たるらしい。
Don't worry. Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna be giving you a bit of an information dump. Hope your pretty little mind can handle it.
クリストフはあれを使うことで五色を狂わせる腹だったのだ。城の流出を起こさずに、その無限再生という黄金のみをかすめ取る。まったく、ゲスの考えそうなことだよ。そう思うだろう。故に気に病まずともいい。奴は正真正銘のクズであり、涙で送るには値しない男だよ。
Upon saying that, Eleanor shifted her gaze from Rhea and instantly changed her attitude.
で、それはそうだ。貴様は何を先ほどから私の顔を見ている。
Oh, now the redhead bitch finally recognizes that I'm here. Wow. Fuck, you just fucking call me? She then addressed another person in a condescending manner. Sakurai Kei, who was splendidly ignored by everyone present.
猿回しの猿にも劣る不格好な踊りを幾度も私の視界に入れていたが、罰が欲しいのか貴様。いいぞ、今はすこぶる機嫌がいい。名乗れよ能なし。貴様どういう了見で私の部下を愚弄している。キルヒアイゼンの席に座ってそのみっともない醜態を晒し続けているのは何のつもりだ。
There wasn't a hint of anger in her tone. She looked down on Kay so much that she didn't even deem her worthy of her rage. People who got angry at animals were rare, so why would Eleanor get mad at someone she likened to a monkey? However, the woman had no intention of tolerating the girl's savageness. Her eyes were freezing cold, a perfect show of her intention to not grace Kay with a hint of warmth.
私は
While being practically bound and placed by the chills running across her entire body, Kay spoke up in a trembling voice.
桜井ケイと言います。ベアトリス・キルヒアイゼン中尉の後継として11年前に。
クリストフか。なるほど。故にそのざま苦靴であり負の遺産だな。さてどうするか。
Oh! The priest's predicament continued even as they talked. Not only was Trifa incompatible with Machina, but he also had nearly none of the battle prowess of the Somber Knight. It was a one-sided battle that wouldn't last longer than a few more minutes. Okay, so this entire time, basically, Machina was just continuously pummeling Trifa throughout this entire... Okay, this is fine. This is fine. Okay, cool. Completely certain of Trifa's impending doom, Eleanor began to see him as a dead man. After all...
例の小僧はバルハラ流出の後にマキナか我が君の功となってもらわねばならん。であれば別に第8の逃げがいる。
The woman looked down at Kay, talking about how they would open the final swastika. If Ren was dedicated to either her lord or comrade, what would be the appetizer? At the moment, they had 3 potential candidates for the role.
数がダブつくのは美しくないな。とはいえマレウスを倒した少年はシュライバーの獲物だ。 奴に計画的な殺人など私は微塵も期待しない。いつどこでどう殺すか読みようがないので除外しよう。ではそうなあおい、残りはどうしたらよいと思うね。
Eleanor formed a grin as she looked down at Kay. The girl bit her lower lip before speaking up.
つまりあなたはザミエル卿。
The woman's words and mannerisms were far too blatant for Kay not to understand their implications. After all, Eleanor presented it as if she was talking to a monkey. Kay certainly considered herself stupid, but even she could comprehend the Crimson Knightess's words to a nauseating extent. The girl muttered with a creaking voice.
私にここで死ねとおっしゃる。
貴様か。そこのそいつかだ。
The pallid mask was still violently shaking as Kay held it close to her heart. And Tubal Cain was still sealed within.
早いか遅いか大差あるまい。それとも貴様。はあ、もしかして。
After an ominous pause, Eleanor's eyes flashed with a wicked glint. Kay's entire body shuddered when suddenly, a crimson flower bloomed before her.
最後まで残れるつもりでいるのかよ。
Oh shit. Shit! She dodged the pillar of fire erupting from under her feet by a hair's breadth. It was an action caused by intuition rather than reflex, and its success was downright miraculous. Oh, scheisse. The concrete on which she stood for but a moment before was boiling. Kay didn't have the slightest idea just how great the heat had to be to cause that. Jeffrey doesn't mean
小勢があがくか。よいぞ。芯までふぬけではないようだ。
This is gonna be extremely one-sided.
定款した増票などひねり殺す気にもならん。ならば城の一部となるにふさわしい遊具を示せ。愛玩の道化として勝ってやらんこともない。
Which one of those actually still get fed, though? Just asking out of curiosity. With the haughtiness of an empress, Eleanor leisurely crossed the flaming pillar she had created. The woman was clearly enjoying herself.
God damn it, I'm trying to beat this priest to death. Could you at least give me some privacy while you're doing that, Eleanor? God!
小勢。
Cannon fodder. She wasn't wrong to call her that. While Kay's souls amounted to a battalion, Eleanor's constituted an entire army. Their battle was akin to the clash of 1,000 against several tens of thousands. Facing her would be a fool's errand, and the situation allowed for no means of escape. So what could she do now? What could she choose and believe in? She lived through hell while harboring the desire to survive until she gained the grace of gold through the opening of the 8th swastika. But alas, that dream was now on the brink of collapse. More importantly,
私はバカです、ザミエル卿。
many people told her to use her head and think by herself, while many more disparaged her as incompetent and stupid. She couldn't help but agree. After all, even with all the evidence before her, she still wanted to avert her eyes from the truth. Reinhard Heydrich's Valhalla was a place where his Einrayars perpetually fought each other. That was the true nature of the miracle of gold sought by Kay. And so, one of the already graced was standing before her now. Eleanor, a monster of a woman commanding a hellish army, speaking of reason far too detached from sanity. Immortal, indestructible, and perpetually resurrecting demons of war, eternal slaves to strife. Kay was being coerced into accepting something like that.
できない。私にはそんなもの見えない。
She tightly embraced the mask within her hands. Lisa Brenner's Ananerabe was already breaking, and the added pressure seemed almost to hasten it.
彼を私は救いたかった。
Kay wished to free him from the fate of having to fight till the day of his death. And yet,
なのにこれじゃ何も変わらないじゃないですか。結局私たちは
slaves who would never find release. She didn't want that. It was completely meaningless. The priest did say that by loving a mirror image for the sake of her own bliss, the only thing she would gain was her monstrous self. But
私はそんなもののために戦ってきたんじゃない。
She sought paradise on the fields of slaughter and searched for peace at the end of gory rivers of blood. A dream so convenient and egoistic that anyone would look down on her for following it. Kay knew full well that the people she had killed would never find peace after meeting such an end. She knew it, yet she couldn't bring herself to care. Hers was a dream too dear to be hindered by conscience and morals, and she saw nothing wrong with that.
泣いて祈れば降りてくる奇跡なんていらないのよ。いつだって戦い、勝ち取る。邪魔なんかさせない。
Transforming the blaze within her heart into a blade, Kay mustered her last remaining will to fight. The girl knew that she could never stand again if the flame ever disappeared.
あなたたちを認められない。私はまだ諦めてなんかいないんだから。
Oh dear. Her only remaining option was to attempt what Valida Tripa did and damage the Pentachroma before the opening of the 8th. In response to the girl's resolve, Eleanor probably laughed.
貴様ら間抜けの言い分はいつも致命的にずれている。
Oh, never mind. A hint of grief and pity began to tint her tone.
そう。例えば火だ。
The woman lit a minuscule flame before her face, then squinted her eyes at Kay. After seeing the girl's display of her will to fight and resist, she had full intention to destroy her on the spot. First, she would tell her off, and then reduce her to ash.
これが命。消したくないと皆が守り躍起になる。ではどうするか。
The fire gradually began to expand. From spark to flame, and red to crimson, it grew outwards and assumed a brilliant formation.
他者から奪い足していくのだ。消えぬように輝くように周りを食いつぶして肥大していく。それこそが生きるということ。世の全生物に適用される絶対の法則であり黄金律だ。
That seems pretty big. A massacrous world of perpetual killing and consumption.
その点は何一つとして城とこちらに違いなどない。殺し続けたのだ。食らい続けたのだろう。それで今の貴様があるのだろう。生命の根源たる渇望はより大きくより多くだ。消えるのを拒むならどこまでも巨大になること。消えてしまったものを灯したいなら巨大な火とつながること。つまり
Both immortality and resurrection could only happen within the embrace of the greatest fire of all. That is what Eleanor fervently believed.
貴様らはハイドリヒ教と一つになる。それこそが祝福だ。震えよ。これ以上の栄誉あるまい。
The wave of flames began to grow, nearly blowing Kay away. It was clear that she had missed her opportunity to attack. To fight Eleanor, who had the upper hand due to the distance between them, Kay had to attack fast, before the woman had a chance to shoot her. At the very least, the girl had to act before Rubedo got a chance to release her flames. However, Eleanor didn't let her. Ever since she began facing Kay, she built an aura of murderous intent around her that reached to where the girl stood, creating an explosive state of tension that didn't allow the slightest slip. Even trying to launch an attack on Eleanor would make her have an outburst. To Kay, the situation was like hastily running a razor through the skin of an overinflated balloon. The girl could do nothing but stand in place and angrily grind her teeth as Rubide looked down on her with a stern pair of eyes. She continued to scorn her, displaying a complete lack of understanding for Kay's plight.
だというのに何を嫌がる。何を拒む。矮小な己が偉大な黄金に飲まれ消えていくのが怖いか。くだらん。元より貴様ら死別を覆そうという輩に古賀などなかろう。他者と己を重ねなければ生きていけぬ劣等ではないか。
Aren't you technically gluing yourself to Lord Reinhard Hydra? You know what? I need to shut up or else she'll kill me. So.
ならばよし。究極の炎、究極の世界、黄金のグラスヘイムに溶ける栄光を与えてやるのだ。歓喜しろよ。なぜ祝わん。まったくどしがたいこと甚だしいが。
Uh-oh. The flames finally finished forming a giant muzzle. A single shot from that would easily reduce Kay's bones to ash.
まあどうでもよいわ。うせろ。
Less than a moment before the trigger was pulled. Oh, she subconsciously called forth a certain accident. Kay didn't mean to make it happen, nor was she trying to summon a miracle. What she did was a common reaction to most desperate situations, like a reflex made by body rather than mind. Essentially, she cowered and curled herself up in an attempt to bear through the incoming destruction. That action alone... Yes!
何?
Summoned this situation. The explosive torrent of lightning made both battalion commanders jump backwards in an attempt to evade it. The sudden attack stopped them both from obliterating their specific targets.
やれやれ。待ちくたびれましたよ。はい。
Trifa was the only one to welcome the situation with open arms. Even Kay, the one who unwittingly broke the mask with her embrace, was completely dumbfounded. Machina and Eleanor also reacted accordingly.
なんだこれは。
稲妻だと。
Though one was gloomy and the other awed, both of them displayed blatant surprise at the abrupt appearance of the giant. They both stared at him, unable to gauge the corpse warrior's intentions. The cadaver charged forward with the force of a cannonball, blasting away the floor of the roof. His target was obviously the staggering priest with a wry smile on his face. Valeria Trifa. Why was the man so receptive to gaining yet another enemy? There was only one reason for that.
邪魔だ。どけ。
The Iron Negro disliked those getting in the way of his battles more than anything else, as any warrior surely would. And...
待ていマキナ!
The priest knew that the Crimson Rubidoux wouldn't ignore what she had just seen. The abrupt three-way, no, four-way battle was far too much for Kay to process, and hardly anyone could blame her for that.
これで万分の一は起死回生の目も出ましたね。
Oh boy! A roar of lightning rent the sky as the cadaver launched an attack with its lumbering greatsword. Instead of the priest, however, it hit and blew away Eleanor, who waded into the fight. Machina wasn't moving. He looked up at the giant before him with no visible expression in his face.
なるほど。お前はこれを知っていたのか。まあ、気づいたのはつい先日のことですがね。
With those words, Trifa withdrew by leaping out of the Somber Knight's reach. The barrier engulfing the whole school was flickering and becoming unstable.
正直、確証はありませんでしたが、これで決定だ。やはり。
Trifa fixed his eyes on Tubal Cain. For reasons unknown, he stopped his persistent pursuit of the priest and remained still. It seemed like he was unable to choose his target. Ah, shit, okay, I can go to the big purple guy, I can go to the divine vessel, or I can go to hot bitch. Hey, sis! Sorry.
Lay him down.
Oh. The cadaverous giant spoke in a voice that seemed to shake the very ground beneath. His body was trembling under the weight of the inner conflict scorching his being. What made him act like that? Why was the corpse hesitating? His demeanor left many questions to be asked, but one thing was obvious, even without an answer.
見られたくないのでしょうね。落ちぶれたそのざまを。
Kane's current targets were Trifa and one other, the Irae of Hellish Heat, who was blown away by the cadaver's previous strike. Suddenly, an eruption of crimson flame shook the vicinity.
邪魔だと。誰に言っている貴様。
Eleanor instantly blew away the curtain of dust, adorned a mantle of hellfire, and puffed her chest full of arrogance. The blow from Cain was by no means light, yet she was still standing as if it didn't hurt her at all.
その程度で私に下がれと抜かすか。分際を知れよ。こそばゆいわ。
She had no impenetrable shield like Trifa did. As such, the situation was born from a simple difference in power. The amount of souls housed in Cain's blow was smaller than Eleanor's. There was nothing more to it than that.
しかし、片手間に流せるというほどでもありますまい。いや、仮にそうだとしても。
After the priest sounded a laugh, seething with his unique sort of jest, the corpse warrior finally decided on who he must strike.
それを前に手を抜くことなどあなたの騎士道が許さぬことだとお見受けしますよ。
抜かせヒップが。
The next discharge of thunderous lightning was directed at Eleanor. Even while exposed to the torrentious surge, the woman stood still and composed, until she released an enraged shout.
静まれ!
Her voice surpassed even the thunderstrike's roar. It literally made the lightning shatter and fade away like mist, after which the barrier surrounding the school began to flicker even more violently.
小賢しい。小賢しいぞ、クリストフ。だがいいだろう。乗ってやる。私の檻が開く瞬間を狙うというなら狙ってみろ。出るも入るもその時なら自在。愛も変わらず逃げの三段だけは達者なものだ。しかし何にせよ、貴様に起死回生など起こりえん。
And I'm just casually sitting in the state. I'm just sitting like in the freaking audience right now, chowing on popcorn, watching this grand guanal just have fun. Enjoy it! Just go play, little actors. I'm having way too much fun with this. The potency of the cage sealing everyone within was lowered to the bare minimum as Eleanor redirected more of her power to assist her with the upcoming battle. The woman's dedication to the fight was a clear show of her will to go all out. The realization filled Kay with absolute terror and pressure that seemed to shatter her bones. Compared to what Eleanor was now, the woman she talked to just a moment ago was blind. However, the girl couldn't back out. If she fell to her knees here and now, everything she had done so far would have been for naught. After all,
構わん。二人まとめてかかってこい。格の違いというのを教えてやる。
Eleanor's target was Kane. Kay couldn't just let it go, so she mustered the willpower to fight, raised her sword, and faced the Crimson Knightess for the second time.
私は彼を守ります。もう二度と誰が相手だろうと失いたくない。
Oh boy.
彼だと。
Eleanor ignored Kay's determination and sounded a laugh. The woman looked at the two figures lining up before her and chuckled in a disinterested manner, as if she just heard a poorly made joke.
彼か、なるほど。その出来損ないは代替わりする。複製の清掃に見入られて、それを想像した一族を末代まで食らい潰すという代物だったな。確かベベルスプルグ・ロンギヌス。さしずめ、劣化品のエインフェリア製造機というわけだ。
Eleanor looked up at the giant hunk of iron held high by Kane. She seemed amused at first, but then heaved a sigh of disappointment, like that of a teacher giving up on an irredeemably poor student.
ならば貴様の前に当たる桜井は男だったのか、レオンハルト。父か兄か、どちらでもよいがね。彼というならそうなのだろう。まったく傑作だな、おい。
何が？
Funny, she tried to ask that question before realizing that Eleanor wasn't even looking at her. The last sentence was aimed at him, standing next to her. Kay began to feel as though something was critically off. She considered that she might be harboring a monumental misunderstanding. After all, the Crimson Woman wasn't the only one to be amused by her referring to Kane as him.
あなたは。
Becoming aware of a certain possibility, Kay looked up at the giant. Her mentality made it impossible for her not to display that reaction. Eleanor led her to do it, and Kay was pitifully unable to resist. It was objectively one of the greatest failures she had ever made.
アホ。出直してこい、新兵。
In a ridiculously extreme state of tension between them, Kay looked away from Eleanor, even severing her attention to her. An error that grave could never have mere consequences. A fireball was hurled towards Kay, blowing her away with ease. At the very same moment, Kane howled a battle cry at Eleanor, seemingly displaying his intention to sacrifice himself in order to protect Kay. She reached out towards the giant, calling out to him in a hoarse voice, but alas, it was all too futile. The blow Kay received wasn't powerful enough to leave her with a critical injury, but it distanced herself from Cain. That harsh reality, as well as Eleanor's words from earlier, made the woman's intentions clear. Rubadil was going to evaporate Cain and leave the girl alive to have her become the sacrifice to the Eighth. No, don't go, don't leave me. Would her own powerlessness make Kay lose someone dear to her again? Kay fought so hard to overturn the burdening past, only to be met with the very same conclusion. There's no way the girl could tolerate it.
嘆くな。私が貴様を救ってやる。その腐れた器を浄化して解放してやろう。私と英を永遠に黄昏までかけようではないか。ついてまいる。
Her laugh, tinted with joy, grew in proportion to the ever-expanding flames. Eleanor wasn't even looking at Kay. She stared intently at the giant corpus of the charging cadaver, her gaze harboring unmistakable affection. However, the love of Einrjar's, immortal champion of the fallen, was...
バルハラで会おう、我が部下よ。貴様の根性をこの手で立てる喜びに、私は至高の幸せを感じている。ならば、いかなる花嫁にも劣らぬよう、
Uh-oh.
最愛の炎を汝に送ろう。
Oh, shit. I'll present you with the most fervorous of flames. No bride shall ever be your equal.
我が槍を恐れるならば、この炎を起こすこと許さん。
For he who fears the tip of my lance shall never pass through the river of flames. Suddenly she snapped her fingers. Avida Zen, through Valkyria Kirchesein. Kircheisen, sorry. I almost had it. Almost, damn it! That marked her final goodbye. The giant before Kay burst into flames. The sight was too intense, transient, and gruesome to be likened to a burning candlelight. The blaze scorched away all of his hair and gradually evaporated the whole corpus. Nothing could save him now. She was completely shocked. With the shattering of her desire, the girl's days would be followed by overwhelming despair, and no doubt an impulse to give up on life. It was the most natural course of action for someone so utterly defeated and drained of hope. However, there was one thing about her. The powerless, foolish girl had a single virtue which could never be denied. Her will to reject the end. Her borderline abnormal stubbornness, her lack of perceptiveness to the point of rejecting the light of understanding. Loss, tragedy, agony, ruin. Even while burdened by such things, Kay struggled, squirmed, and refused to give up. Lisa's evaluation of the girl, calling her a fragile blade of glass. It's both right and wrong at the same time. Kay Sakurai was indeed fragile, and dangerously quick to break, yet even after she was ground to dust, she refused to accept it. Or rather, she would forget the reality of her own downfall the very moment it happened. So... The girl recovered from her bout of despair, gathered the shattered pieces of her heart, and launched an attack with all the soul and power she could muster. Any sane mind would recognize her action as futile. No matter how much of her life Kay would fervently sacrifice, she could never land a decisive blow on the woman who was easily able to repel an attack from Cain. Ignoring that, however, the fact still remained that Eleanor was now wide open for a strike. Annihilating Cain with her flames at full power made her momentarily become still. No matter how strong a person might be, everyone had seams in their awareness. Thus, Kay's action was outside of Eleanor's expectations. She saw the girl as a worthless cur. She thought that shattering Kay's heart would be enough to end her. However, what would actually happen completely betrayed her assumptions. The woman never would have guessed that the girl's foolishness and lack of understanding went much farther than she had first thought. Eleanor couldn't dodge the attack. Kay's Charlotte crossed the burning giant and slashed at the tall female commander with a scorching burst. An explosive scarlet ring shook the whole school area as the weakened cage of flames disappeared.
見事
Hence, the man awaiting this moment offered a genuinely sincere word of praise to the one responsible.
それがどうした?
Acknowledging any such hindrances as trifling, Negrudo remained thoroughly unfazed as he raised his destructive iron fist into the air. Indeed, the event was a triviality. Whether or not the cage was open, the Somber Knight's deadly punch was descending. If he didn't do anything to neutralize it, Trifa had no chance of winning or surviving. Was there anything he could do? Well, the answer was simple and clear.
出られぬのなら迎え入れる。もはやそうするしかないでしょう。
Trifa evaded the thunderous wind of the overwhelming strike by a hair's breadth, then began buying time until the new actor arrived at the scene.
いずれ彼がここに来る。
No matter what Machina said, the boy's arrival would make him change his target. That urge of his far surpassed the knight's reason. After all, he was doing everything he could to avoid any encounters until they were both at their best.
その時あなたは果たして自分を御することができますかな?
The priest bet everything on that event, as it was the only possible way of shifting the circumstances in his favor. However,
なるほど。
Berlishingen, the champion of iron, grinned and chuckled in a way reminiscent of earthen rumbles. Though he had an evident liking for Trifa's attempts to struggle, he also displayed a clear pity for him.
二つ勘違いをしているな。
Step by step, with no caution, he closed in on the priest. Though the somber knight could almost reach him with his hand, he didn't display the least bit of care about it.
まず第一に、お前が待っているものは間に合わん。
What did he mean by that? The answer to that question paralyzed Trifa with shock. Hey, Schreiber! The small young boy danced ecstatically in the air, dashing, jumping, and running in empty spaces as piercing laughter resounded throughout the surroundings. All he left in the wake of his sprint was a mountainous trail of corpses. He was like a hurricane of blood, mowing down and greedily consuming everyone, regardless of whether they were in their homes, cars, or just out on the streets. He displayed no concern for the locations of the remaining swastikas or the sacrifices they required. The release from the castle made Albedo's body tremble with joy as he obeyed the impulse to fulfill his desire for slaughter. He was the very reason why the person Trifa waited for would never more make it in time.
あれにシュライバーは突破できない。
Negrudo was certain that in his current state, Ren could never get past Albedo due to a critical problem in compatibility. Son of a bitch! Okay, so Schreiber is pursuing Ren? Does that fucking mean that just freaking Shiro's just gonna go to the town like, well, this is kind of boring. Oh shit, Schreiber's going after Ren. I should probably go hurry up.
あれの渇望は見せてもらった。その上での判断だよ。奴の鬼門はシュライバー。ここには到底たどり着けない。
Ren and Marie were riding Shiro's motorbike from the church to school when a certain person intercepted them. Trifa didn't forget about the Ashen boy, but... Hi! Thanks, Marie! Shit! From the air above us, Schreiber jumped down on the bike with extreme speed, instantly shattering it while we got off in the nick of time. His strike was absurdly fast, even for a surprise attack. With Marie in my embrace, I landed on the ground and slid to a stop before shifting my gaze to the blazing motorbike.
酸欠は事故るか。マジでその通りじゃねえかよ。
I might have seemed calm enough for wit, but there were chills running down my spine. After all, I didn't see Schreiber anywhere. And it wasn't because he became invisible or went into hiding or the like. He was just purely, ridiculously...
はいはい。冗談じゃねえぞこいつ。
Uh-huh?
見えないよ。全然目に映らない。
He was Schreiber of the Sternwind. Swifter than anyone, too fast to be perceived. The air itself released thunderous, explosive bursts as the buildings and asphalt shattered. It felt almost like the rampage of an invisible giant. The actual cause was a gravity-defying, ultra-fast barrage of jumps on all the possible surfaces. The city was gradually becoming a mountain of ruin as that one person was running around at a speed surely able to break escape velocity. It looked like the nightmarish realization of some sick joke. A remarkably fierce impact broke the asphalt and made it collapse into the shape of a crater. I reflexively looked at the location where it happened and finally saw him.
やあ
Holy fuck!
久しぶりだねクラフト2世ずいぶん大きくなったじゃないか
Oh my god! Wow, you really did a good job decorating the place. A feminine voice and a feminine face and voice to accompany a small and slender body not yet of the age to exhibit any secondary sexual characteristics. However, his one eye was boiling with countless emotions, passions, and sentiments. Grief, hatred, regret, joy, pleasure, satisfaction, a chaotic quagmire beyond any proper evaluation. It looked human, but it was like a completely different animal, or better yet, a clothed, walking, talking calamity. I got the very same impression that Shiro described. Conversing with this thing was a fool's errand. With things having come to this, I could do but one thing. I had to defeat him fast, not sparing a single moment, then go to the school as soon as I could.
やるかい君は僕を殺す気なのかい
Our gazes met. I looked into his eye and saw not even the most meager hint of sanity. I was certain that no human, beast, or even a demon should have eyes like that one. It was the glare of an insect completely obsessed with slaughter and sadism. If the world had anything repulsive in it, it was surely the eye and the harrowing life that nurtured it. He was not a being that should be kept alive, and not a distortion that should be tolerated. Though his kind was unlike the others, he was surely another one of Hell's inhabitants. How many tens of thousands did he massacre for his eye to have that glint? How much blood did he bathe in to end up so irredeemably insane? I looked around and saw the city, its streets broken and hollowed. Just by running about, Schreiber had killed people whose numbers had surely surpassed hundreds. Rage built up within me. The feeling of disdain made me dizzy.
ずっといつまでもどこまでも僕は殺して回り続けるハイドリ秘境のベルトールでみんな永遠に殺し合おう
Behind my clenched teeth, the inside of my mouth got filled with the taste of blood. I had to stop it no matter what.
お望み通りその首刈り飛ばしてやるよかかってこい
威勢がいいねだけどさ
Schreiber bent his body in midair. It was likely that his extreme speed completely nullified the need for footholds. Ren immediately assumed a stance as Albedo's voice and tone changed, his grin replaced with something far more sinister. After all, the Ashen Boy had always made a point of responding to any murderous intent aimed at him with a bloodlust 100 times more intense.
僕を殺すってことは殺してもいいんだよなできないこと抜かしてんじゃねえぞうつら青い作りもんが
そうだ奴にシュライバーを倒せ
God damn it, shut up, Machina!
Oh my god, he can actually hear me.
There was a reason why he couldn't defeat him.
奴を速さで追い抜くことは絶対的に不可能だ
Because that was the very nature of the man to Albedo's craving.
こんなごねにしてやるよヘルト誰が誰を殺すのは言ってみろよ
While in his creation figment, Ren had absolutely no chance of emerging victorious. Yeah. Unless he can somehow counter it, which I doubt. The very same can be said for her. With no change in her expression, Rubedo leisurely left the bursting flames. Astonishment. That was the only thing swirling within Kei's mind. Were they actually immortal?
貴様に対する評価を改めよう。そして我が身の不明を恥じねばならんな。いささかながら驚いたよ。大したものだ。
Eleanor took Kei's blow while in a completely defenseless state. Neither her mind nor body even began to consider the possibility of being attacked. And yet, this is the result. Her uniform was slightly dirtied, but not an inch of her body was hurt.
一つ 忠告してやろう。殺意は絞れ。
Oh, it's time for lesson number 2 with Miss Samiel. Eleanor spoke in a dispassionate manner while extinguishing the flames over Kane's ash. Her tone sounded almost as if she planned to instruct the girl.
傭兵の基本だ。小勢で核翼など組んでも意味がなかろう。兵力で劣るなら使い方を工夫しろ。それ次第で穴をうがつこともあるいはできる。貴様は無駄が多いのだよ。まったくそんなところはどこかのアホとよく似ているわね。
Kay didn't understand what was happening. The person before her was, without a doubt, an enemy, the target of her grudge, and a being she could never allow to live under the same canopy of heaven. For reasons unknown, the girl hesitated to launch another attack. She guessed that it might have been Eleanor's surprisingly calm intonation. She almost sounded like an elder sister talking to a younger one. The reality that she aligned the woman's presence with that of her dearest treasures appropriately appalled her.
ともかくこれは褒美だ。受け取っておけ。
Oh shit. The object that appeared from the extinguished flames made the girl's eyes open wide. Wellisburg Longinus. Tubal Cain's Unair Bay preserved its form, remaining completely unscathed. The fact that it shrunk to a third of its original 3-meter length slightly perplexed her, but aside from that, there wasn't anything abnormal about it. Not even a oh shit. Oh! Oh shit, is she gonna turn herself into the next Tubal Cain right here?
次の持ち主は貴様だろう。ゆえにくれてやる。持っておけ。
Oh boy.
正直消し去ってやるつもりだったが気が変わった。中の魂ともども引き継ぎを許してやる。
Oh! Oh!
だから
It was completely momentary.
今は命を大事にしろ。貴様は第八に捧げるとこの私が決定した。
Oh! Kay wasn't letting her guard down, nor was she looking away from the woman. Her thoughts weren't stable enough for her to be composed, but she was still completely ready to fight. And yet, one way or another, she was still caught off guard. Eleanor stood right before Kay and placed one of her hands on the girl's shoulder. The situation wasn't caused by the woman's speed. It was only the clarity of her martial arts prowess, which made the girl think that there likely was a time when her adversary used to ripen her melee abilities. There was no greater proof than the reality of her effortlessly invading Kay's, a swordswoman's, fighting range. Thus, the fight was over.
寝ていろ。
Kay just... Fuck! The woman hit her with enough might to instantly make the girl black out. Her limbs failed to move, and she couldn't even voice a response. The defeat was so overwhelming that Kay felt more dumbfounded than humiliated. She had no excuse.
さて、いらぬ手間を食ったものだ。
Eleanor sighed and raised her face.
ともかく、これで任務達成ということだ。
The rooftop's other battle was about to reach its end as well.
これが第2だ。俺の渇望を前に、お前はどんな時間稼ぎもできん。
Shit. Energy gathered within the Stygian black fist. An extraordinary amount of souls whirled around it, became magic, and began the genesis of an outer world. Beria. The manifestation of a person's greatest craving. A secret rite of sorcery that turned one into all. The wish to become something, and the desire to do something. The ideal self and the way it exists. The creation of a world meant to fulfill such cravings, a place where his desire would become an absolute rule. A certain someone was inclined to despise light, so he wished for an eternal night for him to reign within. Another had a passion so dear she wished for it to become an ever-burning star within her breast. Egomony and transcendence. Both were dreams, but one was an ambition that spread and consumed others, while the other was a desire to emphasize the self. The former changed the space itself, while the other only affected the body. Hegemony was more fiendish as a calamity, while the prayer of transcendence was more menacing as an art at battle. After all, a desire that didn't consume many outsiders could never decline and weaken due to conflicting logic.
死よ死の幕引きこそ唯一の救い
Oh boy. Death, oh glorious. Final death. Savior of man.
His was an ultra-high-class transcendence. Nigrijo's craving was the end. Anyone who ever touched his fists would have the curtain fall on the story of their life.
この毒に戯れ蝕まれた心臓が動きを止め
My heart, drowned in venom, ravaged by time, may beat its last within your embrace.
忌まわしき毒も傷も跡形もなく消え去るよ
May spears wound, may venom's bane, all perish at your coming.
Phenomenon meant the end of history, creatures, objects, knowledge, concepts. None of those categories mattered to it. Nothing within even a single moment of history past the point of its creation, a single word in its story, could ever withstand the all-ending Deus Ex Machina. That alone earned Machina the title of God from the Machine. His strike meant immediate death, and was dangerous beyond human conception. Of course, Trifa fully understood the gravity of his situation. The plot he planned out had been thoroughly torn apart. Ren Fuji, his only ray of hope, was unable to come. He could never break through Schreiber. Based on Machina's nature, the priest assumed that he would never let anyone else have his prey, and he wasn't wrong. The man Dalbedo was unable to suppress his urge for slaughter. Any word telling him not to kill someone would always fall on deaf ears, and a scenario where he would kill Ren was completely undesirable to Machina. Thus, Trifa assumed that they would never be made to face each other in battle. Alas, it was but a naive notion. After all, the maddened wolf was nothing but a loyal dog before the gold's presence. Upon Trifa's death, the Hrotviner would be fixed by the bindings of Gleipnir.
ならば結局私が時を稼ぐしかないわけですが
He considered continued evasion until Ren's life was endangered by Schreiber, and Machina grew impatient. However, it had become completely impossible.
この開いた傷口家の病巣を見るが
Aye, behold, this festering void gnawing at my soul.
For an all-ending craving was about to be made manifest before him.
滴り落ちる血の雫を全身に巡る呪詛の毒
This lifeblood, its crimson pearls feeding the earth, this malice ever coursing my veins. Behold,
武器に取る剣を突き刺せ深く深く塚まで通れと
clasp your blade, draw your steel, and plunge deep, deep to the hilt.
The evocation was nearing its end. Although he was still chanting the aria, Nigrijo wasn't the kind of man to allow his enemies escape. A weak offense would have the priest receive a powerful counterattack, while trying to escape would only result in the blast seeking out his back. There was only one thing left for him to do.
さあ騎士たち
Hark, brave knights, and know this.
罪人にその苦悩をもろともとどめをさせる至高の光はおのずからその上に照り輝いて降りるだろう
As the sinner finds his last refuge, his anguish done, so shall divine light be showered from the heavens above.
He had to respond with his full power. It was the only path he could take, and its final destination was clear as daylight.
ドリア
The priest no longer wished for a turnaround.
水ガルズボルスングサガ
End of the mortal world.
Valeria Trifa had been completely checkmated.
さあ抗ってみろ生産杯
Oh boy! The humanoid incarnation of death spoke with indifference as he clenched his all-ending fist. Machina's attacks ignored any defenses and could be unleashed countless times. As long as he was on the offensive, Gotz von Belschingen was unparalleled.
これはお前の戦場だ。むざむざ負ける気などあるまい。さあどうする？得意の小賢しさを発揮してみろ。俺の聖戦につまらぬ処刑の記録など刻ませるな。それとも
Oh boy. He raised the fist that made all curtains fall. It was hard to know if the words he spoke before the burst were intentional. Nevertheless, they completely crushed the deepest part of Trifa's being. They were neither verbal abuse nor provocation, only the cold, harsh truth.
相変わらず子供を殺すしか能がないのか。
His scream was of a sanguine tone. The somber fist in the golden palm clashed with a thunderous explosive sound. After the violent impact, Trifa's right hand, perfectly healthy up until a moment before, ended up blatantly crushed. However, what ultimately crumbled was not his body, but his control over the divine vessel. The shield was annihilated, and the armor was ignored as part of the souls inhabiting the borrowed flesh were completely shattered. The priest had been rendered unable to move a single muscle of the arm that clashed with Machina's fist.
私は二度と私の愛を失わない。
Oh shit. However, he didn't seem to grieve his wretched condition at all. Distanced by the blow, the enemies faced one another, building an invisible whirl of battle lust in the space between them. Its density made the pavement of the roof begin to crack, and shook the whole campus into a violent rumble.
私は負けぬ。私は死ねぬ。私は永遠に歩き続ける。止まりなどしない。英語を償い続けるのだ。あなたのような都合の良い終わりなどいらない。
R's trying to grant me. Trifa gathered his resolve. There was only one thing left for him to do. He had to disregard all causes of anxiety and unleash the weapon he trusted more than anything else. The priest's whole body and soul. His ultimate skill.
お前は俺を奴隷と言ったな。
The expanding divinity didn't even make the Iron Negro flinch. He simply continued talking with a tranquil voice that almost seemed to harbor pity.
否定はしない。俺は先祖だ。ハイドリヒに屈服させられ、繋がれた身を蔑まれても反駁はできん。
He was an Einarjar of the demonic Valhalla, a being unable to escape the rule of gold. As such, the somber Knight of Iron could have been weak to Trifa's ultimate attack. Oh shit, he's going for it, baby! Once again, he summoned the Sacred Lance. The reason why he raced in the first place was simply because it opened a fatal weak point. No one could draw their blade when clad in the ultimate armor, and wielding the greatest shield. To go on the offensive with full intent to murder meant nullifying one's own defenses. Fully aware of that, Trifa still drew his blade. After all, his opponent ignored defenses either way. As such, the priest's best bet was to discard them and focus entirely on the offensive. It was the most obvious course of action for anyone facing Machina, even though the action hardly suited him at all. The choice had become far too obvious. Using his creation figment for the second time in one night made his soul sound vivid shrieks, but he splendidly ignored them all. He wouldn't die. He couldn't allow himself to perish. He couldn't accept defeat, no matter what. On the transient moment before their ultimate attacks clashed,
お前ほど矛盾してはいないつもりだぞ。
Machina's words pierced deep into Trifa's heart. They left an injury far more critical than any physical wound. Oh! Pure light surged throughout the sacred golden lance. By believing the shine to be absolute, Valir Trifa was contradicting himself.
過信。そして相反する過小。
While believing the power he was blessed with to be without equal, he made light of the originator. The priest fixed his lord's might into a framework he could understand. He was warped as both a rebel and a borrower of his master's power. Blessed with Reinhard Heydrich's might, he used it to attempt to seal the very same person that granted it. Having such a distorted desire required both absolute acknowledgement and a certain amount of underestimation of the target. As one who had never possessed his own power, the ability to grasp victory, he had to contradict himself by believing in both the strength and weakness of his enemy. The priest passionately craved strength, but instead of perfecting himself, he chose to become someone else entirely. That weakness was the greatest display of Validia Trifa's limits. He was only guilt, something that could never become gold. Fool's gold! Thus, he had awakened to the fact that despite his desire to save all and never be robbed of anything again, the divine vessel was the Lord of Destruction. The materialization of the all-destroying Deus Irae. He called out to her, Lisa, and the countless sorrowful loves that slipped through his fingers. His touch brought ruination upon anyone he had ever wished to save. His love was the harbinger of destruction, nothing more. 60 years ago, Karl Croft declared that to be the plight burdening the wicked saint since his very first breath. Thus, the sacred lance he deemed absolute failed to hit its target. The somber knight displayed no hint of fear towards the golden light that scraped his shoulder, and launched his darkened iron fist at the one who released it. Thus the curtain would fall. Nothing about the life of the jester following the warped sanctity was true. The moment the all-ending strike reached his chest marked the descent of the true gold. The bishop was shattered and became a pile of waste on the chessboard. Reinhard looked down on it and squinted his eyes. Sitting himself on the throne of his castle, he whispered with a languid smile on his visage.
大義だ、聖三杯。K の巡礼、私の中で永遠に続ければよかろう。そう悲観したものでもある。
He loved all and everything. All would be consumed and nothing left unravaged. And now that world of his began to spread and expand.
私だけの波動を示そう。カーリオ、共にゲットを超える時が来た。
Wavering, fraying, and seething, the devilish castle of Weresberg made itself corporeal. It was a hell built from the souls of millions. It was the incarnation of war, the one to recolor the world with sanguine chaos. And
その男は墓に住み、あらゆるものも、あらゆる鎖も、あらゆる全てをもってしてもつなぎ止めることができない。
no mortal man under the sun, no powers that be, no chains that bind shall constrain him, for he dwells in the nether, a soul from the grave is he. Rubido praisingly chanted a prayer, giving a blazing welcome to the coming of the moment her supreme overlord had always yearned for.
彼は爆さをちぎり、枷を壊し、狂い泣き叫ぶ墓の主。この世のありとあらゆるものすべて、彼を抑える力を持たない。
His shackles crumble, his chains fall limp onto the ground before his will. No man, no divine breath that coursed the veins of this universe hold the power to subdue him. The moment made Albedo forget his bloodlust. Prioritizing his loyalty over the raging impulses within him, he became ecstatic as he stopped his battle for the sake of his lord, the man who once let him live.
ゆえ、神は問われた。貴様は何者か。
And so the Lord asked, What manner of beast are you?
Negredo was no exception. He was yet another one of the Ainarias enslaved and bound by the castle.
愚問なり無知猛昧、知らぬならば答えよ。
Your lips breathe folly. Your question a sage intellect would never hatch. If you know not what I am, very well, I shall answer. The golden beast cherished the loyalty of his subjects, laughing as he spearheaded his boundless hell. Know my name, for it is Legion. He marched to consume the whole world. Oh boy. Thus,
Valhalla made its descent upon the earth.
グラスヘイム
Apotheosis, the fifth universe of gold.
Oh, goody! It would appear that Valhalla has appeared.
It was a fate carved into stone. Actually, Gladsheim. Fuck it. An inescapable, unavoidable reality that dated back to the founding of the city. The chaos blotting out the sky gave birth to a mystifying castle that robbed the souls of any and all weaklings unable to resist its sorcery. The event was a repeat of what occurred in Berlin over 60 years ago. The scores of war demons who were absorbed by and emerged with the Devil's Castle roared a cheering chant.
Thank Sieg Heil Victoria.
承諾した。共に約束の時を祝おう。
I don't know, it feels wrong to kind of say that. I mean, I'm sorry, I let myself kind of just pause for a minute. As soon as I saw them, like, I apologize, I kind of got lost on that one. I'm really sorry, I'm really sorry.
His locks like a floating mane, golden in color. His regal gaze equally golden. It was the gold of splendor, a brilliance surpassing creation itself, beauty mingling with heaven's solemnity, yet at the same time beastly in hue. A being that should not exist in the realm of man, the harbinger of beguiling light. Returned to the corporeal coil of his own flesh, Reinhard Heydrich looked down below from the terrace of his castle. Just one more, another release, and Gladsheim would be unleashed. He beseeched all of the meek and trifling to gather and know the bliss of whirling within the heaven of his boundless soul.
果てに未知の世界を渇望する。
For that was his promise to the friend who broke him.
Oh, great.
そういえば私たち二人きりで話すのは初めてなんじゃないのかな。
Oh, it's a good thing I went a little bit longer this, or I actually went to the end of this chapter. There was literally no place in that entire thing for me to stop, and I'm glad that, oh my god, I just realized there's a lot of twos on the time that I'm recording this. Even though it's going to be uploaded on the 23rd, that's a lot of twos. Okay, well, 7 swastika is ready. I'm guessing Sakurai is going to be the next Tubal Cain now. And, Trifa's dead. Holy fuck. I'm going to try, okay. Concerning that little, that last little bit there, next time I'm going to try to remind myself that this is just a fictional novel. I'm just going to try to keep that in mind. So in case Sieg Heil appears, I'm going to try to keep the narration flowing and try not to let myself get stopped by it. I guess I don't know. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to stay into like, okay, this novel is fantastic. But there was that little slip up, and I do apologize for that one. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so I'm guessing that, okay, shit's really going, okay, shit's just fucking just going absolutely bonkers, and I'm just, have I mentioned how much I actually really like this novel? Have I mentioned that? This is a fantastic novel, dear God. Aside from that little hang-up, which is my own fault, I'm gonna not let that bother, I'm gonna try not to let that happen again. So, yeah, I guess Shiro's just kind of at the tower like, God damn it. Oh, wait, why is the sky turning red? Okay, there's a bit of a castle off in the distance. I think they kind of fucked up. I guess things are going to get interesting now. I really thought that, you know, Schreiber was going to be waiting at the tower for Shiro, but nope. Just, it's all part of the plan to start attacking Ren to keep him from saving Trifa, who's now dead. And so is Tubal Cain now, too. So, there's that, too. I'll say it again. Have I mentioned how much I love this novel? I'm gonna go ahead and, oh boy. I'm gonna go, calm myself down and relax a little bit. Because that was absolutely insane. And I know I keep saying that. And it's just going to get more and more insane the further along I go, isn't it? I know it is. Anyway, I'm going to end it there. If you all like this, be sure to let me know. So thank you all very much for watching. Thank you so much for watching and enjoying this as much as I am. And I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Holy shit. I keep saying that about this novel, but it's such a good damn novel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Hello there everybody, Sabato92 here, and if you like this video, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And hey, if you guys like my content, then maybe you'd like to check out another channel who I think deserves equal attention. So click that Nightmare emblem and check out that channel, or go to the links in the description down below. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.